Hello again, everyone. This is Bill Owen, podcast time. Well, we cover various subjects, as many of you know, and today I think we're going to have a lot of fun with Popeye. Popeye, Olive Oyl, and the other characters. Oh, everybody is familiar with Popeye throughout the world, I guess. Blow me down, he used to say. What else did he say? Shiver me timbers. He had that hoarse voice, of course. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eats me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. I am what I am. Or he coined a wonderful word. I am disgustipated. You'd always see him with that corncob pipe. And then there was Olive, his girlfriend. They finally did get married eventually, but she was that tall, skinny girl with the black hair pulled back in a bun. And she would admire him most of the time. Sometimes she was angry at him, but when she was in love with him, she would say, "Oh, Popeye, oh, Popeye." And he would say, "Hey, Olive, I loves you." Thimble Theater, that was the name of the newspaper comic strip. It wasn't known as Popeye, and I'll tell you why. It started in 1919. Popeye did not appear until 10 years later. That's right, it was all about Olive Oyl and her family. And so it was January 17th, 1929, when they introduced Popeye. And he became so popular that eventually the strip title was eventually changed in his honor to Popeye. He had that bulging forearm, remember, with an anchor tattoo on it. Thimble Theater was created by Elzie Chrysler Segar, S-E-G-A-R. And he had a clever way of signing his strip in the last panel with simply a drawing of a cigar, as play on the word cigar. And when he died in 1938, an assistant named Bud Sagendorf took over, and it ran for years and years. It's still popular today, Popeye. Max Fleischer came along, created a cartoon short series for Paramount Pictures. Robin Williams played Popeye in the live-action feature film back in 1980. Popeye, where'd he get his strength? You know that, don't you? From eating spinach. Yeah. If he were losing a fight, he would pop open a can suddenly and instantly become super strong, and of course he had to win the fight. Well, what happened was kids started eating spinach, think they'd be as strong as Popeye, and the sales rose so much that in Crystal City, Texas, spinach growers erected a statue to Popeye. They were so thankful for what he had done for the crop of spinach. However, kids were a little confused when the radio program came on in the 30s, and it was not sponsored by spinach, but by a hot wheat cereal called Wheatina, and that gave him his strength. So, well, am I supposed to eat spinach or Wheatina? And his song would go, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Wheatina's my diet, I ask you to try it. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Beep, beep. This is kind of strange. An actor on radio called Detmar Poppen, P-O-P-P-E-N, was chosen to play Popeye on radio, Poppen as Popeye. And even more curious, Olive Lemoy was the first woman on radio to play Olive Oyl. Olive Lemoy, Detmar Poppen. I knew the announcer of that program, Kel Keach, and children across America were so thrilled when he would do the Wheatina commercials and then introduce Popeye. We mentioned Olive Oyl, and Mae Questel was another person who did her voice. And Mae Questel did not only Olive Oyl in the cartoons, but Betty Boop. Remember her? It was quite a play on words. Olive's brother was Castor, so he was Castor Oil. And the mother was Nana, for banana, Nana Oil. And the father was Cole, C-O-L-E, so he was Cole Oil. So that was the Oil family. Another beloved character was J. Wellington Wimpy. And he had a famous line. He'd say, if you buy me a hamburger today, I'll gladly repay you on Tuesday. Which, of course, he never did. No. Wimpy. Well, there's a word wimpy in the language for him. Someone who's not very aggressive. How about the baby Sweet Pea was left on his doorstep in a box in 1933? Popeye adopted him. And for the most part, all he said was glop. Once in a while, he was able to come out with real words, but glop was Sweet Pea's word. He also had a son, Matey, who became a newsboy, and Popeye Jr. Sweet Pea, by the way, was sometimes referred to as Schooner. And Popeye would call him the boy kid. Yeah, the boy kid. Oh, the enemy of Popeye, you know him, Bluto. He was a sailor also, and he was quite a rival, and he was always trying to win over Olive. And sometimes he'd be winning, but they'd end up with an explosive battle, and of course, Popeye would always triumph. They later changed the name to Brutus, by the way, because it was erroneously believed that Paramount Pictures had owned the rights to the name. So to this day, the most recent use of the name is Brutus rather than Bluto. There was Eugene the Jeep, who had magical abilities. And some people believe the military vehicle built by Willys during World War II was named for him, the Jeep. But there's no confirmation of that. It's possible, though. Popeye also had a friend called Alice the Goon, and an arch enemy, the Sea Hag. Oh, was she a vicious woman. She was aided by her vultures. She would send the vultures out to do her nasty work. Roughhouse operated a cafe where Wimpy tried to get free hamburgers, and he sometimes would succeed. The Roughhouse would be angry about that. Another friend of Popeye, but one who disliked Wimpy for some reason, a gentleman with a foreign accent who was called George W. Giesel. And Olive's original fiancée, long before Popeye came along, was Ham Gravy. But he left Olive eventually in search of a woman with money. There was John Sappo, who looked a lot like Wimpy, actually. He just couldn't cope with life. He always had problems. And he had a tenant, a scientist named O.C. Watsonozzle, John Sappo. And he had a very domineering wife, Myrtle Sappo. And Myrtle always carried around a rolling pin as a weapon. She was quite a threat to her husband and anybody else who got in her way. There was King Blozo III, the ruler of a kingdom, a friend of Popeye. There was Oscar, a buck-toothed dimwit but lovable character. And Popeye had quadruplet nephews. Did you know that? The names were Pip-Eye, Peep-Eye, Poop-Eye, and Popeye, the quadruplet nephews. His father, never forget his father, the white beard. He talked just like Popeye, of course, in a gruff voice. Poop Deck Pappy. Well, so much for Popeye. It was kind of fun remembering him. Popeye the sailor man. People say, I live in a garbage can. I always go swimming with beautiful women. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Boop, boop. Well, that was fun, and I hope you'll join us for another session sometime in our next podcast. This is Bill Owen saying bye-bye.